All right. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone is doing all right. Great to see a lot of people here. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. So, what you're seeing here, can I remove my my zoom bar? I had a zoom bar at the top. All right, perfect. It's on the other screen. So, what you're seeing here is you see I have a few tabs open. This is my FTMO account right here. And what you're seeing here is this is an account from the, what is it? I think it's the 1st or 21st. What is it? FTMO identity. Let me see. There was certificates. This is the one I need. It's from the 2nd of June, 2021. That's the one. So that's what you're seeing here. I passed an account, and in the second phase, I blew the account. So for us to get funded, that is the goal here. We need to get funded, or we don't need to get funded, but it's, of course, it's leverage. So what I mean with leverage, it's an easy way to get more capital to potentially fund our own personal account, etc., or to potentially start working with investors, etc. That would be perfect. Let me mute you for a while. I'm sorry. Yes, perfect. All right, thank you. So what I was talking about is we hope to get funded in order for us to gain more capital, to get some payouts that we can fund our personal account, whatever you prefer, right? But in order for us to do that, we need to have some sort of guidelines, I feel like, to get funded. Now, in the first 4 enrollments, we have mainly gone over the concepts, etc. If you don't understand the concepts just yet, or you don't have a trading plan, then what I'm going to be talking about in the funded guide is futile. It's not going to make sense. It might make sense, but you can't apply it because you have nothing to work with just yet. I hope that makes sense. I think that's pretty logical in itself. So without concepts, there is no funded guide in a sense. And what you're seeing here is the account that I passed. So there was a phase 1 on FTMO. This was a 30-day FTMO challenge. Now, of course, we have the luxury nowadays to have a no time limit, and that's exactly what things we are going to go over, because I think when you have a no time limit, there is absolutely no reason anymore to fill that challenge unless you have some sort of psychology errors, etc. Now, as well, the first thing I want to tell you is, of course, I just mentioned about the concepts, and the concepts, knowing your trading plan first is very important, but there's a thin line between preparing too well and just jumping into the deep end, because at some sort of moment you need to jump into the deep end. And what I mean by that is your trading plan will never be picture perfect before you actually start applying it on a small challenge. So when you buy a 10K challenge or whatever, then you will notice what's wrong and what you need in your trading plan. Not necessarily a whole new trading plan, but you might notice, all right, I don't have a set take profit. I don't have break-even rules. I don't have this, I don't have that. And that's perfect. That's perfect, because then you can practice on a small 10K account. It will still feel very real, way more emotions involved than on a demo trade, because for me personally, I don't take demo that seriously. Even though I try to, it's very difficult for me. So I would rather purchase a small challenge account. Of course, if you can do that, I would always advise you to do it, because there's way more emotions attached. Even though it's fake money in a sense, there's still for some reason there's emotions attached to it. So that is what I would advise, to just jump into the deep end, and then you will see what is missing in your trading plan. Then you will see the real world in a sense, and your emotions will come up, and that is very important. So there's a thin line between that, and that is for you to decide, because I'm not a financial advisor. Please keep that in mind. I'm not here to say you need to buy a challenge now. That's for you to decide. When you think, all right, I just need to do it, then perfect, start doing it. So I want to first go over the account analysis, then we go over a metrics, then the second phase, account analysis, again the metrics, and then we go over some pictures that I have right here. That's very important for you to know to get funded. So during the FTMO challenge trading period, you have traded 10 trading days. Now keep this in mind. I have traded 10 trading days, and when I saw this back, you might notice it already. It was so funny to me, because it's 2 years ago, obviously, and it was just so funny to me. I didn't even remember it like this, to be honest with you. And so the objective for a minimum of 10 trading days was met. In total, you opened 68 positions, and on average, you traded 6.8 positions a day. Let that sink in for a moment, please. Your success rate was 57%, so that was my win rate. The win rate was accompanied by a positive RR. Now, that's perfect. But in this moment, at this moment in time, did I have a trading plan that I could stick to? I don't believe I did, to be honest with you. And that's also the reason, because I didn't have guidelines. I didn't have guidelines to know when to stay out of the market. And this is exactly what I mean. When you're trading the 1 minute, for example, because I'm pretty sure I was trading something on the 1 minute here. That must have been the power of the reason on the 1 minute is getting said here in the chat. And that's exactly it. It's the 1 minute, no boundary to get into the 1 minute. So you always have a reason to trade the 1 minute. And this is the result. Now, don't let the result that I passed this challenge fool you. Don't let it fool you, because you'll see on my on the next account analysis. Don't let it fool you, please. So where were we? All right, with the value of 1.39, that's my RR. All right, perfect. It is important to mention that your trading results have a positive RR. All right, from the looks of this, it's perfect, right? The average profitable trade was 2021, and the average losing trade was 158. All right, nice. The ratio between the maximum reached profit maximum was 1,000 and maximum loss was 564. Now the 564 is already what kind of worries me, because like it says here, it's 1.89% of my account. It's almost 2% of my account on a single loss. How did that happen? That's my first question that I have there. The 1,000 win, it's somewhat crazy, but it's only a 2.5 RR. It's not that crazy. The almost 2% loss on a single trade, that is what worries me, because the average profitable trade was 2021 and the average losing trade was 158. So what happened there? My emotions likely got involved, right? So something happened there, which signals a positive ratio. All right, perfect. The total profit for the evaluation period reached 4,000. Now, perfect. So it started on the 4th of May. The end was the 2nd of June. Then the results, and these are all the trades. So you can see I started off with a loss, and then likely you started revenge trading and it played out. Then eventually I know, and I quite remember this in my mind, that this huge win, I believe this is the 1,000 win that they're talking about right there. That was a news trade, I'm pretty sure. So I essentially just got lucky right there. This whole period, I was just very lucky. So let's go over this. The average profit again, the RR, maximum profit. Now it's funny that actually I made way more money trading longs than shorts. That's quite funny. Then the number of trades is 48 longs and 20 shorts. That is absolutely outrageous. So what I'm trying to show you here, this is an analysis of how you shouldn't do it. This is not a great metrics. This is not a great account analysis. You shouldn't be trading like this. This is very important. So the RR on my shorts, and this is also a big reason as to why my shorts weren't that profitable. You can see the RR is 0.63. So essentially what I'm saying here is it was negative RR. So the win rate needed to be 100% for me to even make profit. So there's something not adding up here, right? And it's very funny to see. So exactly, this is what happened. This is like an inverse equity curve right here. It's not supposed to happen, because my RR, I was aiming for less than I was risking, right? It's very funny. Bro went from trading news to hating news. Exactly. Hard to see information. Are possible to make bigger? Let me see. Can I zoom in a little bit? I think zoom in quite a little. Went full screen. Oh, okay, perfect. I'll change it back. All right, just perfect. Equity curve in the bear market. Exactly. Oh, perfect. All right, perfect. Let's see it. All right. So, let's see. Where were we? Results by days. So Monday, you can see I'm trading quite a lot right here on certain days. Thursday, this is a lot of percentage that you're making on one single day, on where 1% is 400 euros, right? Then this is a lot. to make on one single day. So that is not, it's not something I'm very proud of. Here you're losing only 2% in a day. All right, only 2%. All right, that's doable. That's nothing wrong with that, I would say. Then results by close. All right, this is not something we can potentially gather some information about. You can see I'm trading a lot of different pairs. Now, keep in mind that these positions, for example, was just to get to the 10 minimum trading days with 68 positions. You don't need to do that, but just in any scenario, this is very funny to look at. So more of the story here is I was trading too much with no guidelines, just saying, F it, it's likely very easy to get funded. And here I was too euphoric. So what actually happened, I've told this story before, and the reason I actually don't like to share certain things about my trading is because I can get very euphoric. And what I mean by that, when I pass a challenge, when I pass a certain challenge, after this challenge, I thought, I went to my friends and I said, I'm at the top of the world. I am making crazy money. I'm the best trader and nothing can stop me. I'm the best trader there is. So that backfired me. And now I'll show you why. Again, this is the account metrics for the account right here. All these different trades. For example, you'll see I got lucky here. Can you see the RR that I'm doing right here? This is not a positive RR that I'm doing right there. And then a loss. The loss is way bigger. This loss wiped out a lot of profits that I made right there. The only thing that kept me in the game right here was, let me show you, it was that news trade. This was one of them right there. And I had another one, I believe. But the losses are huge. And then I got a lucky winner once in a while. So I got euphoric. I was not a good trader. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And then this happened. So during the verification trading period, you traded 8 trading days. Again, keep that in mind. And so the objective for a minimum of 10 trading days was not met in total, blah, blah, blah. You opened 78 positions. And on average, you traded 9.8 positions a day. Yeah, your success rate was 47%. Now, 47% is not that crazy. It is actually, and with not that crazy, I mean, it's not that bad. It can be worse. And 47% when you're starting out is, I think it's a very doable win rate, and it's very realistic for certain starters, you could say, certain starters that are getting into funding. But 47% win rate with a negative RR of 0.4 will not get you profitable. So this win rate was accompanied by a negative RR with a value 0.4. With a negative RR, it remains quite difficult to pass verification, etc. It's just basic dynamics of trading, right? The win rate needs to be in harmony with your RR. So, consequently, there might be a pressure for a high success rate. There's no, all right. However, it is not relevant. Yeah. The average profitable trade was 61 euros. The average profitable trade was 61 euros. Keep in mind, 1% of the account is 400 euros right here. And the average losing trade was 153. The ratio between the maximum reach profit 245 and maximum loss 445 is 0.55. It's also a negative ratio. So you can, now the real light comes in, right, into your trading plan. You can get exposed. And that's exactly why we even have these challenges and why you have a phase 1, a phase 2, and then you need to get another percentage to get the payout, etc. That's because if you don't have a trading plan set, then what happens is, you will mess up in one of these phases. So that is very important. And I essentially got exposed here that I didn't have a good trading plan. I was just messing around right here. Didn't have anything to do with how good of a trader I was, because I was shit at trading. I was absolutely shit, and I was bragging about it, how good I was, and I was too euphoric, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And from that moment on, I was like, all right, let me just put my head down. I'm not messing about anymore, and let me just not tell anyone how I'm doing, etc. Because recovering from something like this, right, after being very euphoric on passing an account, etc., that's a tough loss, right? Your ego gets a huge hit. So basic information, again, account size 40K, start 14th of May, and 12th of July, and you can see the trades. This is just basically, again, it's an inverse equity curve. If this was a bullish equity curve, it would have been beautiful. But your RR is 0.4, like we're saying here. The result, minus 4K. 47% average profit. Again, the RR is just not adding up, right? It's an absolute mess. And what you'll see here is eventually my emotions also got involved. So of course my emotions are already involved because the amount of trades I'm taking here is absolutely bizarre. It's not normal. I don't advise anyone to trade like this. This is how you fill an account inevitably. This is not something you would want to do. So you can see that my lot size, if I can get to the metrics account, yeah, perfect. Eventually, when I started losing, so this is the first trade, right? The first few trades, all right, my risk is still somewhat intact. It's fine. It's not that bad. But you can see my losses are way bigger. So eventually, I'm just a break-even trader, some kind of break-even trader, where I take some wins, I take a few losses, but then I take huge losses in a row. I start revenge trading on the same day, etc. And here, 18th of May was an absolute disaster for me by the looks of this. And then you can see from a 6 lot size, I jump to now a 12 lot size. I start to increase my risk, etc. Only 3 minutes open. So I know exactly what happened right there. On some of these positions, I remember that at the end, I didn't even have a stop loss. So what is happening at that here? I didn't even have a stop loss anymore. My emotions got involved. So what is happening right there, I can already tell you, is I opened just a random position with a 12 lot size. And I was just like, all right, perfect. Let me just see what this is doing. If it goes in profit, if I don't have a stop loss, then I won't lose, right? And then just hope for the best. Hope that I got out of my drawdown with news trade or whatever. Increased lot sizes. It's just an absolute mess. And that led me to blow the account within the next week, literally. So whenever I say I got funded right there, and then I blew the account the next week, this is exactly what I'm referring to. It's this account. It's very funny to take a look at. So moral of the story here is, again, that don't trade like this. And this is exactly why a lot of prop firms are in the business they are in, right? Because most of the people just starting out will trade like this. Now, we have touched on a lot of concepts and we have touched on a lot of risk management, but risk management, that is the key that will get us to that funding account. And especially with the beauty of a no time limit, because I do agree, if there is a time limit on your challenge, then that is a very unrealistic expectation of you to make 10% in 30 days. That is the most unrealistic expectation. So that is something to be aware of. For when you have those unrealistic expectations, you need to have some kind of unrealistic risk where you work with quite a higher risk, but that higher risk will obviously be accompanied by a higher risk of losing that account as well. With a no time limit, I do think that there is literally no reason to fail anymore, because all it takes to pass the challenge now, of course, all it takes is first you go through the concepts, you have a trading plan, then you dive into it, then all it takes is keeping your psychology in check and risk management. That's all it is eventually. And then if your trading plan obviously works and you work, so you are performing your trading plan to the full potential, then all it takes is doing the trading plan, letting the RR do its work with the win rate. That's it. So that leads me to the next point is here we have, the risk to reward, ignore the Binance things. Here we have a win rate. If you're 20%, again, very, very basic stuff, right? I think most of us know this, but 20% one-to-one, you're not profitable. If this is in perfect harmony, and I would say most of us, when starting out with a funded challenge, even if the potential of the trading plan is there, that it can be 70% towards an 80% win rate, most of us start out with, I would say, a 50% win rate, around that. That can also be because you're making some mistakes, some rookie mistakes that you're not making later on because now you have gained experience, etc. That's the losing curve we are going to dive in deeper into as well. The losing curve is basically at first, when you are trading a new trading plan, you're starting out with losses, unnecessary losses. Then you are filtering out those losses, and then you get to a break-even stage, and then slowly you start to actually make profit. So at the beginning, I would advise to aim for 1 to 2 if you can't just master the win rate just yet. Now, if you're very accurate on your win rate, then of course a 1 to 1 is absolutely perfect. And that is also what you can do. Just be aware that at the beginning, if you're just starting out, then a 1 to 2 might be nice because you have some room for error right there with your win rate. That is very important to understand. So the next thing I'm going to show you, I actually have this ever since 2021. This has been at the side of my desk right here, and I'll send you a picture of it actually after this Zoom. And it's been at the side of my desk because this is so important to understand. This is, again, don't let this overwhelm you, but I'll guide you through it. Probability of seeing at least X consecutive losing trades within a sample of 50 trades. So a 50 trade sample size. If we say we have a 50% or 55% win rate, can also be 45%, I would say, 10% for that room of error again, that playing room right there. And if we take that into account, then a 50% over a 50 trade sample size, you can and you will likely still experience a 6 losing streak, a 6 trade losing streak. Now that is absolutely insane. And for my win rate, actually Dameson helped me calculate it. It was around 7 losing streak. Now that was a sample size of 100 trades, so not a 50 trades sample size, but that was a 100 trade sample size. I could still lose 7 trades in a row, and that is not unrealistic. So that is something to take into account, because obviously after only 4 trades in a row and you don't know your win rate, so your win rate is likely around 50%. After 4 trades in a row, people will already go strat hopping, will already move on to something new. So that is very crucial for you to understand. But again, if the RR right here, so if we're risking 1% to make 2%, the RR is in our favor, the win rate is in our favor because we are 50% win rate with a 1 to 2 average RR, then we can still get profitable. So it is all a risk management game at the end of the day. And the risk management game is easily said than done. And what I mean by that is you need to keep your psychology in check. And that's all what it comes down to. That's the biggest emphasis of them all, is if you can't keep your psychology in check, then you won't keep your risk management in check, because you will now start to risk more when you should risk less, having those risk parameters, etc. So that is absolute key for you to understand. And that is exactly what we're going to go over deeper into the funded guide as well. So let me go over a few things right here on what I was planning on doing for the funded guide. So first step is, if of course you haven't watched any concepts, etc., and you don't have a trading plan, then that is the absolute first step. Then the next step is, of course, forming your trading plan, hindsight backtesting, etc. When you do a hindsight backtesting, you can get to a trading plan. Then it is applying that in a forward testing scenario. I would always advise not backtesting. The reason I also say hindsight backtesting, because backtesting in itself, I'm not really a fan of personally. Now that's a personal preference, because for me, what I always noticed when I was backtesting, I was building unhealthy habits because I was skipping price. So when I got to the actual charts and I didn't see a setup within 2 seconds, I would just go away from the charts. That's literally was my day. I went to my desk and I thought, all right, there's no setup. And in my backtesting, I know, all right, I can click. I can get a setup, perfect. I can get the second setup, perfect. And if I went to the charts and there was no setup, I was like, all right, perfect. Let's just go away. And that's an unhealthy habit. So backtesting is, be very careful that it can lead to unhealthy habits as well. That's something to be aware of. Then the next step, I would also say, now this depends on your financial situation. Again, I'm not here to give you any financial advice. You can either study the concepts on a demo, building healthy habits. That is the most important, building healthy habits on that demo, because I know I've also been there, that it is very easy to just enter a trade early and say, yeah, but if I'm taking the challenge, I will just enter normally and I will just enter on time, etc. You won't do it. Believe me, you won't do it. That's when you get the results like this. You won't do that, because I traded demo before this as well, and I thought, all right, let me just mess around in demo, and if I get to the challenge, I'll take it more seriously. You won't do that. It's building those healthy habits that is super, super, super important. Now, you can either take a demo or you can buy a small challenge, and with the emphasis on buying a small challenge. That small challenge, that will expose your weaknesses, as in that will lead you to see what is missing in your trading plan first off. So that is also where the mistakes are coming from, because a lot of mistakes that I can relate to when just starting out is, for example, you jump in and you totally forget, all right, when do I even go break even? What do I do now when I just entered the trade? That is also part of your risk management, right? So in the trading concepts, in the full mentorship that we've gone through, the enrollment months, I think we have covered everything, but still we might have something to work on inside our trading plan that we sort of didn't see coming, in a sort of sense, right? If that makes sense. All right, so the next thing is choosing a prop firm, of course. No time limit, preferably. That is the most important part. No time limit prop firm, because then there's no excuse to fail anymore. If there is a time limit, then I would say, yeah, that's difficult. That's always way more difficult, because making 10% or demanding even 8% in 1 month, that is just so super unrealistic. It's just not. It is doable, of course, and a lot of people can do it. But consistently on a month, in every month, you get 8%, get 10%. That is super unrealistic. So no time limit, preferably as well. Pay attention to slippage, because slippage can be an absolute pain in the ass. Now, of course, these are all topics. I'm just naming the topics we are going to go over. So that is something I will also help you with. All right. Then again, I've mentioned here, implementing on a small challenge, exactly, being aware of the losing curve first. Being aware of the losing curve first, again, being aware that when you start out with a new trading plan, you can likely, or you will likely lose first. And if you lose, or if you don't lose first, and you start out with wins first, and you pass the first phase, then likely in the second phase, or when you get the live account, which is even worse, because then the emotions are sky high, then you will experience the losses. And then you will experience the drawdown we are seeing here, where we can take 6 losses in a row. And that will hit like a truck, because then you'll be like, whoa, my trading plan doesn't even work. And it does work, but you're just too euphoric. You're just too in the moment where you think, nothing can touch me. I don't lose, etc. And then reality hits you, right? All right. So getting experience is what I've written down: losing, break even, or winning. And then the most important, and this is all what it comes down to getting funded, is at the end of the day, of course, we need to have guidelines. Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be teaching the concepts I'm teaching. And I would just say, yeah, just buy and sell. The risk management, the risk parameters, getting out of drawdown, psychology, keeping psychology in check, brain points calculator. Those two, the risk management and psychology, they will be the determining factor on if you are getting funded or not. But not be the strategy. Sorry, it will not be the strategy most likely, because the strategy, we can sort of make every strategy work in a sense, right? And of course, it's finding that strategy that we are comfortable with, finding the individual personal preference, etc., etc. You know the story. But then once you've found that, a lot of people mess up on the risk management and, in harmony as well, the psychology. And that is when they now start to look at a new strategy, something new to implement, etc. And that's just not it. You need to sort of jump into the deep end first, and that's the losing curve as well. When you're first starting out and you're starting to get funded, or any account, a personal account, can be whatever you want, at first you will lose. You will likely lose. Accept this. You will likely lose. Even if the first challenge, etc., you will likely lose that first challenge. And then afterwards, once you start to gain experience with the trading plan, now you can see the profits, etc. So that is crucial for you to understand. All right. And then what I want to go over as well, because of course we don't want to pass one challenge and be done. No, we want a lot of capital, scaling trade copier. That's also stuff I'm going to talk about. And I always like to see it as chess. I'm not sure if you play chess, but in chess, you always have one pawn that is backing up the other pawn. So you always have another option. You always have a plan B in a sense. That's the same with trading challenges. When you are trading challenges and you have a funded account at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you always have, especially if you want to do this full time, of course, and you're not planning on doing anything besides, so another business or anything, which is perfectly fine, of course, if you want to do that, then it is crucial to understand that you need to have a 100K account, and that 100K account is backed up by another 100K account. So if in some magic way something happens and you blow that account or whatever, you have another 100K account to back that up. And that is why it's also important to, first off, put that payout, etc. Don't spend it on anything stupid or anything. Spend it on funding your personal or getting into new challenges. That way you get the ball rolling, right? When you get a first payout and now you spend it on a new challenge, that's the way you get the cycle rolling. All right, so this is exactly what we're going to be touching on. So let's see, 21 seconds. Yeah, real scalper. Oh, that's crazy. It works. Yeah, true. Scalping does work, but 21 seconds, it's crazy. Scalping does work for sure. Bro, you should stop talking about time limits. It's only history now. Yeah, 100%. Best time to get into fun. Yeah, it's a crazy time. There's a lot of opportunity, and we have to take advantage of it, of course, and see it as a leverage. It's not an end goal, I would say. Being funded is not the end goal. It's a leverage to get to the places you want to be. That's something very important. Yeah, let's touch on Tredu as well. So, as you know, I have said in the past about Tredu, and that is why I wanted to partnership with a potential prop firm as well, to allow everyone to get capital and an easier way to get capital. So the whole plan behind Tredu, and I've talked with the CEO as well, is the whole plan behind Tredu is, or for me, for the plan how I see it, is that I can give you guys challenges on the way you perform. So the idea was there that Tredu has an academy, and the academy right there is where people can sign up. So I would have all of you involved, and I can see your performance, and then we can say, all right, you can get a challenge or you can get instant funding in a sense. Now, currently, what has happened currently is I have currently not heard anything. So I'm sorry about that, but I currently have not heard anything. And the thing I'm not going to do, just to give a heads up, I am not going to sell out, because the whole reason why I got into trading at the first place is because I don't like when people say what I should do. So I don't like when people say, hey, post this giveaway now, and do this, do that. No, that's not what I like. I just want the opportunity, and I feel like that's a win-win situation on Tredu, where I can provide you guys capital, and they can also earn a percentage, because obviously when you are trading that account, they are taking a profit split, so they are also earning money. Now, if I can build the best traders here, of course, you yourself are building the best trader off of yourself, then you are sort of an easy money for to do as well. So that's how I see it. That's how I view it. But again, currently there's nothing set up just yet. If there is something set up, then I will, of course, let you all know, because I did somewhat promise it. I am working my ass off to get it done. But currently, I don't have anything to tell you about it. Hope that makes sense. Use the eval account as on the job training money after you have trade plan. Exactly. Perfect. Makes sense. All right. Perfect. So that is exactly the plan, how I see it. Of course, if there is something, and please do let me know, if there is something you want me to touch on more in depth, anything, then please do let me know in the Discord or wherever you want to, and then we can go more in depth on, because I also plan on making individual videos, as in, for example, a risk management video where we do just dive into risk management, because obviously now in the enrollment videos we had execution reviews, and then inside the execution review you have risk management and a few other things as well. But if we just have a risk management video just for risk management alone, that will be lovely, right? All right, perfect. Thank you all. Perfect sense. Hope it all works as planned out. Yeah, I hope it as well. And I hope the biggest thing we have to do is, what I'm very careful of is, I know in a prop firm, and when people want to partner with you, and when people want to partner with you, obviously they want something out of you. And the things they want is they want your attention that you have. So they want your followers in a sense. And the reason they even partner with me is, of course, because there's some, I am, how do I say this the best? How do I say this? I am not less valuable, but it's easy for them to just tell someone that's big on Twitter to tell them, hey, just promote this giveaway, promote my prop firm, etc. And that's exactly what I don't want to do. So I do hope that we can get to some sort of agreement there, and that they still agree to give capital to you, to everyone that's in the community, because that's very important to me. Because obviously, if we're trying to build something here, then that's the perfect opportunity, right? Do you feel prop firms want us to succeed or fail? Oof, that's a great question. So I'll actually tell you a little insight. So the prop firms, because yeah, it's a touchy subject. Yeah, it's out. I hope I haven't signed any NDA or anything. So please, if you do hear anything here, just keep it inside the community, of course. But I have to be careful. Yeah. So I actually heard that prop firms are not that profitable itself. So prop firms, they are not that profitable as you think they are. And the way they generate money is through a lot of giveaways. And that's why you see giveaways are done a lot, because they acquire new customers, etc. And that new customer that will buy likely a new challenge when they fail a challenge, etc. So do they want the best for you? Yeah, in some sense, in some way, yes, they want to, but there's also huge risk on their side. So yeah, in some way they do want the best for you, but also, of course, the unprofitable ones, the trade news, etc., those are also perfect for the prop firm. So I think that it's a mix for sure. Yeah, for sure, they are making a shit ton of money. That's for sure. With most prop firms, they don't even trade real money. The orders aren't passed through exchange. They mostly, yeah, true. It's only a few actual traders are connected to the money of the prop firm, and they are making the money for the prop firm and for the payouts in a sense. Yeah, exactly. The A-book traders, they are only on live. Yeah, exactly. And then even, yeah, not in a demo environment, but then they are sort of connected to a real account on the prop firm itself. 10%, yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy percentage. So that's why the prop firm itself, and that's likely why they told me as well, prop firm itself are not that profitable, because the money, of course, likely comes from mostly failed challenges, etc., not really the funded traders in a sense. So yeah. All right, perfect. So we've touched on everything that I wanted to touch on right now, and then let's get the funded guide started. Perfect. All right. I want to wish everyone a great weekend. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being in a Zoom. Love to see a lot of people here. Let's do more Zooms as well in the funded guide. Of course, I will more focus on live guiding as well. So more Zooms, etc. More talks on the risk management side, keeping each other in check, psychology, etc. Very, 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 very important. All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the Discord. I was going to funded guide. The funded guide I just explained, my friends. So I'll upload it and you can watch it again. All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you at the next one. Where can I look for this Zoom? The Zoom will be on the WAP. So the enrollments end. Yes, for this month, there are no new enrollments in the masterclass. Exactly. All right, perfect. Thank you.